All right, there's a story that just came out about a 16-year-old non-binary student that was bullied and beaten to death by her classmates in an Oklahoma school bathroom. This is the same state that has such insanely barbaric laws taking women's rights and prosecuting mothers who had. Oh, it's just disgusting what these Republicans have stirred up in this country. As a reminder that LGBTQ community has nothing to do with you unless you choose to be there. You choose that. That's the freedom everyone's pretending to be so gung-ho for. That's the freedom MAGA swears is their driving force. There is so much hatred and anger and everything out there about every marginalized community in this country has so much vitriol attached to it just for being who they are. Why does it matter to you if someone down the street wants to identify as a potted plant? All right, they're not grabbing dirt and grabbing your kid and going, sit with me in our pot. They're not doing that. And if they are, a simple discussion would suffice. If you don't like the way somebody dresses, well, don't dress like them. If you don't like the way someone acts or who they're dating, well, don't date the same people. If you can't realize that that person has the right to their own life and be who they want to be, then it's not freedom you're after. It's suppression. You're after your own freedoms, and God forbid you think anyone's coming close to your own freedoms, but let's take away someone else's freedom. Let's take away someone else's life. A 16-year-old trying to figure out who the hell they are in this world. And every one of us had the right to do that, has the right to do that. No matter what it is, whether we like it or not. There's 16-year-olds in this country that are working on their third child. We may not agree, but for some reason that's happening. And as a country, as the richest country in this world that refuses to give everybody universal health care, takes away women's rights at the drop of a damn hat to the point where clinics and children's hospitals are closing their doors for fear that they're going to be thrown in jail for helping a female, a woman, a mother, someone who's just diagnosed with cancer getting medical care. Because they help those people too. It's not just about abortion bans. It's about women's health care in general. OBGYNs are leaving the entire state in some cases, as are all the nurses that women need for their health care. It's not just one thing. Abortion law isn't just about pro-life, pro-choice. It's about privacy rights of medical records. It's about what government's allowed to do to your lives if they don't like the way you're being treated or you need to be treated. That's taking away freedoms. And more than anyone, it's taking away women's freedom, marginalized community freedom. This poor child, 16 years old, beaten to death by her schoolmates. Sorry, their schoolmates. I'm still learning the terminology, but the heart of it stays the same. A 16-year-old child. And the school didn't even call the police, didn't even call the ambulance, didn't even take this child to the hospital. The school had the mother and the father do it. The parents, their family, took this child to the hospital where she died the next day. The family even took her to the hospital. The school wouldn't even call her any help. 16 years old, by bullies at a school, because now being that type of special asshole is okay by everyone else. That's what's wrong with our country. And Donald Trump didn't do that. Donald Trump just made it a hell of a lot worse, because it gave the biggest asses in this country a get out of any trouble free card by being the ultimate ass in this country. Because if he gets away with everything he does, it makes everyone else think they're going to get away with everything they do. And this poor child lost her life because some idiot, closed-minded bullies in some ignorant ass school system in a state with some of the most ignorant government decisions going on, protecting kids, protecting people, and protecting women's rights. That same freaking state let this child die and didn't bother even calling for help. And we can't step back and say, I don't like that, without it going into some political statement. A 16-year-old child was killed by her classmates and the school did nothing. What's going to happen to the parents of those children? What are the stories there? How is this child, how are these bullies being raised? What kind of parenting is behind them? Why do they think they have the right to do what they did? And what's their punishment going to be? What's the school's punishment going to be? What's that principal's punishment going to be? The superintendent? How many different times has something like that happened in that school? Will the government do anything about it? Because this is the same government that doesn't give a crap about women's rights in general, including a mom that was trying to save herself some pain and took a natural gummy to ease the pain in a medical need during the time of pregnancy and ended up getting prosecuted because her medical marijuana card didn't translate to the unborn child. That's the government that's going to decide whether or not this is okay. They're up for election. Get them the hell out of their seats. Every woman in the state of Oklahoma, whether they believe in marginalized communities' rights, the LGBTQ community, anything, whether that's not even the point. The point is a 16-year-old child had that happen under the watchful eyes of people who are taking away women's rights on a daily freaking basis, making our children less safe on a daily freaking basis. And guess what, Republicans? This wasn't even done with a gun. Sorry to disappoint you. But thoughts and prayers don't work for that either. Get your heads out of your asses. And if you're voting in Oklahoma for anyone in the state or anyone in any branch of government, school systems, you better make damn sure you do your research so this never happens again. Because I got news for you. If it happened to one, it could happen to any, including yours. So wake the hell up. Wake the hell up. This is no longer a political discussion. This is a discussion on simple humanity and protecting our children before and after they're born. The after part's pretty important too. I think that still qualifies as pro-life. Evening, Dagny Benedict. Rest in peace, Dagny. It applies to her too. Just as much as it applies to your kids. Stay diligent, stay educated, but for God's sakes, be kind. We are in this together, whether we like it or not. God bless.